All right, in this last video on biochemistry, we're going to talk about chemical reactions and the role that enzymes play in those reactions. So chemical reactions is where a chemical compound is either made or broken down, and it's a change in one set of chemicals into another set of chemicals. The elements or compounds engaged in a chemical reaction are known as the reactants, and what's produced are the products. So chemical reactions involve energy. Some chemical reactions release energy and often occur spontaneously. Other chemical reactions absorb energy and require a large amount of energy in order to happen. So which of these is going to be spontaneous? Well, this one here is, where the products have less energy, than the reactants. So the amount of energy it takes to start a reaction is called the activation energy. And that's an important thing because all reactions, whether they're spontaneous or not, take a certain amount of energy. If you think about it, the paper you're writing on, will react with the oxygen in the air. But it's going to take a long time because it has a lot of activation energy. You can speed that process up by lighting it on fire, by adding enough energy to get to that point where the reaction will happen. So how do you get to that point? Well, that involves a catalyst. In this case, the flame is the catalyst. It's a substance that speeds up the chemical reaction without being used up by the reaction. And it works by lowering the amount of activation energy required. So here you can see a graph, reaction with and without an enzyme. So what are enzymes? Enzymes are biological catalysts. Most of them are proteins. And they lower activation energy and speed up chemical reactions that occur in the cells of living things. So to do this, they form what's called an enzyme substrate complex. So the substrate are the reactants in the enzyme catalyzed reaction. An important part of this is the active site. It's where the substrate binds to the enzyme, and they have to fit together pretty well. If the enzyme is misshapen, it doesn't work as well, and that's a lot of diseases are caused by mistakes in the genes that code for the enzymes and change the shape of the active site. So enzymes and substrates fit together by something called the induced fit model, where when the enzyme and substrate fit together, they change shape a little bit. It weakens the bonds in the substrate, and that lowers the activation energy. You can see this is kind of the process going on here. So enzyme activity can be affected by a lot of things. Anything that can affect the shape of the active site can affect the activity of the enzyme. This can include changes in pH or changes in temperature.